What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX. And you guys, tonight we've got some sick podcastery lined up for you.
Ooh, nice.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there, bro.
No
Why don't
dabbery.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
we couldn't keep it a secret, man. Craig, why don't you introduce our next guest, dude? I'm stoked about this.
Hell yeah, man. I'd be happy to. Everybody out there at Big Bike BMX, you may have heard that voice. You probably know who we got up on the show because you read the title of this podcast. But let me be the first to introduce you to the Throne team rider, the CEO of Deezy LLC, one of the most inspirational, one of the most hottest dudes out there on a bike. And I mean that with all the skill and style this guy possesses. Please give us a big welcome, a Big Bike BMX welcome to Deezy. What's up, dude?
What's going on, y'all? I appreciate you for having me.
Dude, all right. So, man, I could fill this entire hour talking about your entrepreneurial game and not even talk about bikes, dude. I'm a risk being, you know what? I am a dad. I'm gonna give you a dad moment, man. I'm really proud of watching you over this like past year make such big moves, dude. Big moves. And like, because you guys, I'm not just a fan of Deezy, I'm a customer of Deezy. Like before my channel was anything, Deezy went, man, how long, like an extra, I think like an extra week you spent on my pad set, and I wasn't anybody in
For sure. No, that was a dope pad, for real. You was like, that was before my industrial machine, before my good material. That was like my starting stuff right there. I appreciate it for sure.
You guys go back on the channel, look up Deezy. I do an unboxing and review of Deezy pads, and dude, extra mile through and through. Like, do you remember them, Craig? Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I totally. I saw the video. What I want to know, like, are you still doing those, Deezy, or
still doing them? But I have assistants as well.
Look at that.
Yeah,
my man.
I like it. Got the assistants. He's like, I got it, but I got assistants too. Man,
I got good enough to teach somebody, so it gives me more time to make content, ride, and just be outside.
I got to say, man, that's one of the things that I like about you, and we can get into a whole bunch of other things I like about you, but like the level of like your skills on a bike, but you take it also with everything you do. It just seems like, you know, you've got this entrepreneurial aspect about you. Like, what got you into, like, how did you end up with an industrial sewing machine at your house? And like, how did that all start?
Well, this is my garage right here / office. This is where everything's at. I look back, probably my intro entrepreneurial life was like probably middle school. I never really didn't have my mom, she came up poor, and then she got into wholesaling or selling vacuums, door to door selling, and then she worked her way up to be a distributor, basically buying vacuums for wholesale, having her own crew, selling stuff for her, and just watching movies growing up, watching her
move.
Exactly. And then I sell candy in middle school. Candy, it started with candy. After doing that, making like $80 a day. Then went from like shoes, then to dirt bikes, flipping dirt bikes, shoes. And that's where like I got more money. And then from there, clothing, bike parts. This is a lot. This is a lot.
No, I'm intrigued, bro.
Like money, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Isaac and I grew up single mom, you know, from a young age. We call it from the street. It's a hustle. It's a grind, you know. You're a businessman at a young age. You know, you're starting with candy, then you're up, you know, bike parts. You always had something that was on your plate so you could grind, so you can keep your hustle going, and keep the progression, you know. Isaac, I mean, sounds like us.
Dude, okay, so I remember I've been watching your videos for a long ass time, dude.
Yes,
and
sir.
So I remember watching videos, and I'm like, all right. And you were doing like some how-to tricks and like how to do like the handlebar rides and stuff like that, how to do wheelies. I was like, all right, this is cool. It's not just ride out coverage, which is phenomenal. Self-film stuff. I was like, all right. And so I knew about Cork It, and I knew about your putting out bike content. So I'm like, dude has two hustles, because content, you guys, full-time job. Full-time job.
For sure.
Especially when you're looking at it, you know, you have somebody like Deezy who, like, this is your job. Biking is your job. And so you've got the 8-hour grind, at least 8 hours of like filming, editing, crafting new creative stuff. Then you got to go check your orders for Corkit, all like your clothing that you have. Then I remember seeing something like, oh yeah, he's got like Deezy pads. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna jump real quick and buy some pads before he changes his mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, third hustle. But dude, it seems like you in this last year, okay, and I'm assuming everybody knows your bike story. And then you've done so many interviews and everyone asks you the same thing. So I really, like, Craig and I are both just absolutely like, I'm astounded at what you're able to accomplish at such a young age. What Craig was alluding to is that entrepreneurial spirit. And then 3, how you show everybody like, hey, you can do this too. That positive influence that you have in bike life. So I'm absolutely fascinated by all 3. So, you know, for me, I think it's what do you think in 2021, what new hustles are you going to go for? Oh, I forgot to even mention the new podcast episode too. The new was it Ride or Slide?
Ride or Slide, yeah. My first episode of Ride or Slide. Essentially, my followers, my supporters send in their bike. They send their bikes, and I rate them as in like ride or slide. Would I ride it? Would I slide it? So I had like a lot of bikes on that episode. I had started that, or I had taken submissions probably like November, so 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and then I was just thinking of a way to edit it. Kind of procrastinating because with that video, it's like it's not just cutting. It's I sync the audio, the camera, add the pictures, add the Instagram, crop everything. So it's pretty dope. I like the end result, and it got like a lot of views early, so which is dope. A lot of comments, a lot of likes. So I might make more episodes for sure.
Dude, I hope you do. It showed up early on my notifications, but I'm also on that notification gang. So loved it, dude. Craig, did you get to see the episode? Did you see it?
I saw the notification for it. I wanted to see it. I just haven't gotten to it. But
it's all goody. It's all goody.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. What inspired you to get into like the ride or slide thing? Because that's pretty ingenious as far as
I want to call out one other thing too, because it's Craig. It's not just BMX bikes. He does like fixie track bikes. It's not just
right. So tell us about that. So like what type of bikes and how did you like end up going, you know, I'm gonna ask people for content so I can like judge their bike whether I ride it or I'm gonna slide it.
Well, I'm big on interacting with my supporters, and I felt like that was an opportunity for us to interact with each other on like a different level. Obviously, I can't hop on the phone with them and FaceTime them. Let me see a bike, but also it's content. So I had talked to my my big homie, my OG, Russ Jalopy. I sent the idea, like, yeah, I'm about to do this episode Ride or Slide right now. He's actually on the phone with me while I was doing it. I was talking about it. And he's a marketing director. So I got his point of view from it. He was like, yeah, bro, that's dope. But as like a marketing director, I don't think it's the best idea because you want to uplift brands and be positive. But I was like, I get you, bro. But at the same time, I told him, like, when I was younger, I did some crazy stuff to my bike. And when I look back at the picture, I'm like, why did I put a huge decal on the crank arm? Right. Why did I spray paint my rims like that? So that also gave me the opportunity to give my opinion because I feel like it could be important to like kids that build a bike or want to customize it. Because when I started off riding, I seen some spoke skins on a bike, same bike I had, and I didn't know they're spoke skins. So I spray painted. I literally took my wheel apart, every spoke off, and spray painted it. And then I realized, like, wait, how am I gonna put it back together? And then back then I didn't know how to maintain my bike. I didn't know you had a wheel. I didn't know there was like anything to that. I thought it was like a nut, you just unscrew it, screw it back together.
Right. And so did you have to like, were you thinking about like ride or slide means like a bike, like you'll look at someone's bike and you'll like review it or look at it, whether it be a fixie or whatever type of bike.
Right.
And your choice is like, would Deezy ride this bike or would Deezy slide this bike, which means like next, right? It's kind of like swiping on it. Did you ever, was there ever any like consideration or talk between you and Jalopy? Like, would there be some kids who'd be like, oh man, Deezy slided on my bike?
Yes. I didn't mention that. Yeah, he said that. But then again, it's like, it's not saying your bike is trash. It's not saying it's ugly. You can have like a super fly bike, but I just won't ride it.
Right.
Your bike can be $10,000. I still wouldn't want to ride that because it's not my thing.
I'll definitely submit some of my bikes so you can get some slides on there without feeling bad. You know what I mean? Because like I'm still gonna like you if you slide my bike, dude. But Craig, I was thinking the same thing, man. I'm like, so you guys, Deezy's reputation. We've never met face to face, but like reputation wise, like known as being like the most positive, friendly dude out there. So when that segment came up, man, I'm like, just you guys watch his face, and it's like he has to do a quick blur and quit. Because you can see it hurts him to slide on anyone's bike. Like you can tell dude's just like, man, I don't want to slide on your bike, homie.
I made a disclaimer too. Like your bike is not trash. Don't throw it away. It's just I wouldn't ride it.
Yeah.
Even if it looks nice, like I still wouldn't ride it. It's not my type of bike to ride.
What was it like having someone submit your bike, like your signature bike to that?
Yeah, I was like, It's kind of weird. It's like, then again, I wasn't really mentioning bicycle companies, but then I did mention the fact that my face is on it. So that's a ride. That's a ridery.
Right.
But then again, like I didn't mention Throne Cycles. I didn't mention SE Bikes, GTs, all these companies in the video, but I just disregarded all that and just focused on the components, placements of stuff, colors. So.
What are some, like with some of the bikes that you did say that you would ride, like what were things that stood out to you to kind of give it that like Deezy ride feel, like, oh yeah, I'd ride that bike? Are you looking at like if it's an aftermarket thing, like certain parts, or is it like just the style, the look, the feel and flavor of the bike?
I mean, I know some bikes, like I ride some bikes that look fire, when I ride it, it's like kind of weird. So I kind of judge it on like parts that I rock, parts that I wish I had, bikes that are interesting. Like my guy Weird Wheels, he sent me like a bike. It looked like a beach cruiser, but I think it was an S&M bike. I'm not too familiar, but it had a bunch of BMX parts on it, and then it had like a lot of wheelie components, like BMX components, but the frame was like a cruiser style frame.
I follow that guy on Instagram. I'm sorry, Deezy, go ahead.
He's dope. Yeah,
I follow him on Instagram, bro. He has got, Isaac, have you seen Weird Wheels on Instagram? You got to check his page out, man. This dude, he's got a name that's fitting, even though I wouldn't say his bikes are weird, man. They're just like strangely awesome. Like some of his bikes, he's got some sway bikes. He's got like a bike that you pedal and it's got like a lawnmower hood on the bottom with the blades, you know, like when you ride your bike on the lawn, it cuts the grass.
That's crazy.
Like some of that stuff. Yeah, it's super dope. So Deezy, like that, I mean, that's incredible that you got that, you know, you've got all these things going on. You know, one of the things that I want to talk to you about, I was having a conversation the other night with somebody and what came out, and, you know, I was saying, oh, we got, you know, Deezy's coming on the show this week. And they were talking about you being like one of the like top role models in bike life. Right. And I hate to kind of like word for word say it, but like I don't think it's even bike life. I think it's just life in general. Like, what is this, you know, what does that word mean to you, role model? Like, do you consider yourself like right now in a position to be a role model? I mean, how does your vibe feel about, you know, what you're like portraying out on the streets or in social media or whatever? Like, does that word mean something to you?
I mean, I feel like anybody can be a role model, but I want to be on the more optimistic, positive side of a role model. But yeah, I do consider myself as a role model, and then it does show, like when parents hit me up or people comment on my stuff, DM me, It's just like, it's not really a part of my marketing or branding to be positive, optimistic. None of that. It just organically happens. And then I wouldn't really change it other than it's like I'm not gonna fix what's not broken. So it's like, if I'm not doing anything wrong, just keep doing me.
I like that. I like the way that you put that. Like, it's nothing that, you know, you're like trying to like fake or anything. It's organic. It's just who you are. And it's like the way you portray yourself, the way you handle yourself, you know, like, you know, that eyes are on you. Obviously, you got a large social media presence,
Right.
as well as like you're very active on ride outs. You're very active in a lot of things that have to do with bike life. So it's obvious that there's going to be like younger folks, you know, kids, even grown-ups, adults, guys, me and Isaac's age, who look at you, and it's like the way that you handle yourself. To me, I agree with the comment that I heard, like Deezy is a role model. And I'm glad that you said, you know, I'm just doing me, because if I keep doing that, it's organic and it's not fake,
Right.
it's not rehearsed, and it's not acted, you know.
Right. And I wasn't always like that either. Like, I'm not sure when exactly I started being more positive. But I wasn't always posting, you know, positive stuff. I used to cuss on Instagram crazy, post whatever I wanted to. But I think one day I just thought about bigger influencers, riders. I was like, they're not really doing it right.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
gotta, you know, do my way.
Isaac and I were talking on other shows as well, and we talk about this all the time. Like, although we get a lot of DMs, I'm sure you do too, like probably 10 times more than Isaac and I, about, you know, DMs asking, how can I get sponsored? How can I get this or that? With some, it's just like they want like a merch grab. They want a free shirt, want a free pair of shoes, you know, bike, whatever, right? But really, some do have the talent. Some do have what it takes to move up that ladder into the sponsorship role or to be an influencer like you are. But it's like, you know, there's a lot that goes along with it too. There's, you know, your social media, the choices you make, the decisions that you put online for everybody to see influence not only the people watching you, but the brands that you represent, are definitely, you know, keeping an eye on your activities too. So that's one thing, like Isaac, we tell kids all the time, you know, it's like, you got to just be organic, go have fun, and do the right thing. And you know, you'll get recognized. And for a lot, you know, it's like delayed gratification. They want the instant likes, they want the instant following, and they also want the instant sponsorship. You know, like, well, why has that person got it and I don't?
Right. I mean, I made some clips on YouTube, or videos on YouTube, like tips to get sponsored. So I kind of explain, like, not necessarily steps, like, okay, first do this, send this DM, hit them up at this time, but like telling them kind of how I did it and ways to stay away from not getting sponsored. So just making that video, they're gonna take it how they want to. Like, they might see that video, some might see it like really useful. It might be like, some might be like, I'm straight.
Right.
And then I don't know. It's just, obviously people think like different. I don't know why they wouldn't want to, you know, put the smoke down, not post it. I'm not sure. A little bit at the same time, because I'm really close to their ages rather than someone else like that's like an owner of a company.
Right.
Probably like, it makes them look cool.
Exactly.
Knowing that, showing that you smoking this big blunt or drinking this big bottle makes you look cool. It really don't, to me.
I couldn't agree more. And I think for me, it's a good question I have for you is like, at what point did you realize I'm a brand and I can market myself? Because I think that's one thing that a lot of these younger riders, and I say younger not in a derogatory term, but I mean, look at me. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's younger than I am. And I feel like it's not my place to try and coach kids and say, hey, you know, I know big brands and I know what they're looking for. and I know you've got talent. I know you've got skills, but like you're going to get overlooked if you're swerving cars. Like that's a liability that no brand is going to want to. The legal team will not get past your Instagram to even show you sponsorship. So at what point did you look at yourself and say, you know what, okay, I'm going to do something different? Like what was there something, was there a moment, was there a conversation you had?
I've never really had anyone tell me like, yo, you need to stop, cussing on the ground. Stop talking reckless like to other people, trying to hate under my comments. Now you won't even see me reply to crazy comments like that. I just don't have the energy to reply to negative energy, and it don't look good for me, and it won't do anything.
Yeah, it sounds like you're, it comes with maturity too. Not that I'm not trying to say that you were an immature person by any means. I'm just talking about growing up.
Right.
It's almost like I'm gonna put some of this to the side. I'm gonna put some of this drama to the side, and
Exactly.
as you're progressing too, I know you're like, man, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm doing like commercials for Verizon, or I'm representing the shoe company, and if I have certain responses to things that are public and people can see those, they're gonna be like, hey Deezy, probably ain't gonna happen. Like I'm sure is that in the back of your mind too, is like, I got eyes on me?
That's probably my first thought is probably like my audience and like the youth. I wouldn't want to promote stuff that the youth shouldn't be doing, because that's literally the future. A lot of stuff I post and I say and I do is for the youth. Even though the older crowd likes it, that's cool, but it's for the youth. That's who will be in our places when we get older. So if we care for the youth, they'll care for our kids and the world we live in. That's mainly my main reason why I do it. After that, that's where it comes into like, oh yeah, these brands are watching me. If I post this brand might see it, might not like me. But that's not my first come to mind when it comes to like me being me.
I think that speaks to the question or the topic we were talking about a second ago. Excuse me, about you being a role model. So it's not so much to be a role model for XYZ company. It's really because you're trying to set a precedence with the younger crowd, or with people in general, because a lot of people looking at you, like we mentioned, and here you are saying, I want to carry myself so I can be that role model for others when they look at me, to say, if you want to be like me, or if you want to do the things I do, look at how I carry myself, and I think that's pretty dope, because I'm not saying it's missing in bike life, but I'm saying there could be more of it, more step up people, more leadership, and more role models. So
especially right now.
Of course, it's just, you gotta define what's cool, because everyone wants to be where the coolness is at. I want to be cool, like I want to do some cool stuff on my bike. Everyone wants to go to what is cool, which is not a bad thing. Like kids want to be cool. That's just like, no one can say they don't want to be cool. So like, tattoos are cool. Cussing loud is cool. Playing crazy music over a song, over a video, trying to get sponsored, that looks cool. But me, the reason why I don't have tattoos is because kids, most of the time, they want a tattoo because their favorite influencer has one, rapper has one. But their reasoning or their tattoo is going to have a lot of meaning to it. But in the kid's mind, they're going to get some random. It's like, let me explain it better. Kids is going to go to what's cool. If I make being positive cool, I feel like it's just going to turn out pretty decent, rather than promoting drugs, negative stuff like that. So like, yeah, it's just being younger, you're not gonna know the full picture, the entire meaning of like why someone does that. Like For example, the tattoo thing. I can get tattooed all of my arm, super, super, super meaningful to me and other people who actually look at it. But real quick on the gram, and someone sees it, like a kid sees it, oh, he got tattooed, I'm gonna get one. But they're not gonna put as much meaning into the art as like Deezy did or Meek Mill did. It's like that to me.
Dude, I get it, bro. I got 3 kids, bro, and I gotta try and tell them not to get tattoos. That's awkward.
That's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Hard, yeah.
I all the time, man. I tell them like, hey, I was like, your mom and God made you perfect. Daddy needed decorations. Right. That's all I got right now, and they don't question it. So
well, Deezy makes a good point, man. It's like, I mean, Deezy could go out there and light his wheels on fire and do a wheelie, and the next day or that night, whatever, you will see 1,000 kids lighting their wheels on fire and doing a wheelie. Like they look up to you. I mean, not, I'm sure you know it, but it's like with influencers, with people who are in a position to influence the younger generations and stuff, like whatever you do, it ends up being a part of them too. Even like you said, if it doesn't have meaning to them, but it means something to you, they see you have it and they're like, oh, we got to do that. Yeah. You know,
right.
Deezy's got
dude. Huh? Dude, I was gonna say, as an old guy, think about the influence that, like, dude, this will blow your mind, Greg. Like, if you think about, okay, riders that were Deezy's age when we were 12, 13, 14, how much influence they had, to the point where, like, I think a lot of those dudes influence who I am now as a grown-ass man.
Totally.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of pressure to put on, like, someone like, you know, Deezy's age, man. I appreciate the shit out of you, dude, just taking it, you know what I mean, and running with that torch.
Appreciate it.
I mean, there's not a lot of people that are going to stand up and be like, you know what, I'll be a positive light, like, and I'm going to shred. That's the thing. Like, there's a lot of people that want to be positive, but you know, they don't have the skills. But then, you know, some of your caliber, dude, I got to know, and you can tell, like, you can lie to me, dude, and just, you got to tell me what I want to hear. Was riding in an abandoned water park the best experience, like, of 2020 for you?
It's like a playground, bro. It's a playground for sure. Like, especially for people who do jumps. Like, I don't jump as much, but for someone that does that, wheelies, it's lit. Super lit.
Dude, you guys go watch that video. Like, Deezy gets to play in an abandoned water park and slides.
Lake Dolores. It's like close to Vegas, close to SoCal. It's lit.
How did that happen, dude? Like, was that, I mean, did you, like, dude called you and was like, hey, man, you want to go play in this water park? You're like, all in.
That's kind of how it went. So the first time I went there was probably like a week prior to the video you're talking about. So I had went, I was going to Vegas for the annual 7 ride. On the way to Vegas, my bad. On the way to Vegas, it was Lake Dolores. And my homie Fame, he was like, no, we gotta go get some content or something. So it was like right when I looked it up, the exit was right there. So skirt, pulled off, went to the abandoned water park, got some clips briefly, got some photos, checked it out. Not majorly, not like inside every building, the whole park, but we went through real quick and then went out. And then a week later, Ian Barlett, aka the Barlett Bike Life Journal, that's my guy. He hit me up. He was in town at the time. Actually, he went to Vegas like the day after I went. I had to leave early, but he stayed, got some content with my boy C Breezy, and then hit me up. He said we gotta go to the abandoned water park. I was down for it. He picked me up. We went. Was there from like 11 to like 5. Getting straight content, pictures in the sunset, videos, 360 clips, POV shots. It was lit.
Yeah, man,
I enjoyed it.
Like, you get to do a lot of cool stuff, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. And your content is so creative. Do you find, like, how do you find your creativity, like, to pick content? Because I know that you're also on TikTok, where you are like blown the hell up, dude. Like, you have a lot of people looking at your stuff. So your content is definitely, like, when I scroll, just the other day, I was scrolling through your Instagram, and you were like between 2 like big rig trailers,
Yep.
And the whole time you're riding through the middle, bro, you're like, no panic, no
Don't
panic.
panic. Don't
Like,
panic. Yes, sir.
right. And I'm like, I'm sitting there panicking, like, man, how's he gonna make this whole thing? That's like over 40 feet of trailer. And it was like the width of your handlebars, bro. You know?
Yeah.
So like where does that creativity come from? I mean, do you get help with that too, or is that something that just formulates in your brain as you're just thinking about stuff?
I mean, I do get help from Instagram. People I'm riding with. Usually it's me trying to do something like creative during like a little small ride, like during the ride, like, hey, yo, pull over to that parking lot real quick. Let me go check that out. Let's go this way instead of this way. I don't necessarily look on the gram to see what I'm gonna do next. I look on the gram to see what not to do.
Okay.
And think of something else to do.
So you're basically like, if everyone's doing XYZ, I'm going to do, you know, ABC. I want to do something everybody's not doing.
Yeah. Say that one more time for the people that weren't paying attention, because that's the biggest bomb drop I think you could possibly give somebody.
Just stay different. Stay different. What you see on the gram is not necessarily what you got to recreate, or you don't got to try it, but it is fun. I try tricks I see on the gram all the time, but try something different. Like what you see on the gram is probably what the 100th time it's been done. Try something different, catch new attention, try something crazy you never did before. It's a cool feeling when you try something and everyone's like amazed because why didn't they think of it? Stuff like that. It can be little simple stuff too, like riding through 2 big old truck trailers. It's like that's been done before. It's not a new trick. It's just it looks dope, angle's cool, simple. I like simple stuff.
Isaac, have you seen it seemed like a few months ago Deezy added a new kind of like skill to his set, and I was stoked when I saw it. It's the, you know, when he started doing the stoppies, the nose wheelies, and I'm like, I'm always like eyeballs, like it catches my attention so hard when I'm gonna say basically like wheelie riders, combo wheelie riders start getting into what Isaac and I call old school tricks, like nose wheelies, stoppies, and it's like, and you know, you and like Jacob Santos and guys like that who have like very creative technical like minds doing that stuff is incredible. You know, I would love to see, as you're an influencer, we were talking about a role model, I'd love to see more and more kids follow in your footsteps excuse me, to trying new tricks, you know, adding to the wheelie and the combo skill set with old school like front end tricks or scuffing or anything like that.
I love those old school BMX tricks. I love them. Every time we do a ride in San Diego, or on Sundays, they do like a little I forgot what it's called, but it's near the beach. On Sundays, there's like a little dead end, cul-de-sac. They do a bunch of tricks right there. It's dope. I'm like, y'all can leave without me. I'm just staying here and watching them. It's crazy.
Isaac, I wonder if he's talking about
John's Flatland. It's like John's Flatland Jam. Yeah,
exactly. Right down there. Is it like in like a cul-de-sac or a court where there's some like restaurants or businesses?
Yep, exactly.
That's John's Flatland.
Yeah.
Have you seen John Bull? Do you know who John Bulchins is from Haro or any of those guys? No.
I need to do my homework. Does he have long hair?
No, the opposite. He's bald.
Oh
yeah, he's got a shaved head. And he's got a Scottish accent. He's always on a Haro, has Haro gear on.
Maybe.
I'll put you in touch with
him.
I'll put you in touch with him.
He's dope, yeah.
He's the brand manager at Haro. Anyways, like him and
he's basically to Haro what Todd is to SE.
Right.
Kind of like
That's
that.
Lit.
Yeah.
Every time I see them riding, they just getting busy. I'm just watching, filming, taking notes.
That leads me to my next question. You know, you're influencing so many people, but like when you say that you're watching, you're studying, you're taking notes, right? When you're out there, who have been your influences? Like what type of riders do you look at, or do you have certain people that you can say that they were your influences?
Regarding tricks, this is guy, I can't pronounce his name, but it's like third world countries where they do like the endos on the front wheel. I forgot his name. I really want to show y'all though, and show the podcast, and y'all probably seen them.
These are guys from overseas and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm always like, Isaac and I are always talking about who our influences are while you're looking that up. And, our influences from back in the day come from like the 80s and 90s and up through like all the eras, different eras of BMX. And, I tell kids all the time, DZ, I'm like, hey, because they're like, bro, I want to learn some new tricks, man. What can I do?
Right.
You're kind of a old school dude. So I always send them out to YouTube to watch some of these old school riders do tricks that were invented or maneuvers that were used back in the 80s and 90s. And it's crazy because they're coming back like on another ride out that I see them on. They're like, hey bro, watch this, I got this one down. I'm like, damn dude, that only took you
Right.
like 2 weeks to learn that.
Giving me all kinds of anxiety, dude. Because like I got one shtick, man. I've got Flatland Freestyle from the '80s, and as long as you kids don't start learning those tricks, I still got like my little foot in the game. But man, the minute you guys start deciding like tail whips sound fun, boomerangs are cool.
Right.
So wait, you don't want them to learn those tricks because that's
not at all, man. Like, let me have my moment.
That's your one up.
But there'll always be a way that you do it that probably no one can recreate. That's where I'm at with my stuff. Like my trick book, anyone can do it. But then there's a reason why I may do it better or do it good, or maybe do a different way, different variation that catches people's attention.
Yeah, Isaac and I talk about this too, bro. We talk about how we can see, like, we know certain riders just from their style. Doing this, like, you can line up 5 old school freestyle riders and tell them to do the same trick and silhouette themselves out. Like, we can't see them. And just by the way they flare or they do something with, put their little twist on it, we know who that guy is. That's Eddie Fiola. Oh, that's R.L. Osborne. Oh, that's Mike Buff. And it's so, I totally get what you're saying. Like, even though you do tricks that, probably you didn't invent, you do them in a certain way. It's like, that's the Deezy style.
You could see it, dude, for sure. You can see it.
The stylery.
No, cavalry. Yeah, this is one of the guys right here. Camille.
Okay.
He's dope. He does a lot of crazy stuff.
What's his Instagram, Deezy?
Camille Stunts.
And how do you spell Camille? K-A-M?
K-A-M-I-L.
Camille Stunts.
Yeah, he's dope. I like him. Jake 100 for sure. I used to watch him all the time, but like he started doing some crazy stuff that just made me just not want to ride my bike. He does crazy stuff, as I've probably seen. Ride with no wheel, making the wheel bounce off the wall, catching it, putting it back on his bike in mid wheelie. It's crazy. He's crazy. That's my guy though.
As soon as he went dude perfect, man, I was kind of done. I was like, man, like the dudes are like handing around like the wheel like it's a, you know what I mean, like it's a basketball. They're just like popping it off of like you said, dude, popping it off of like down some stairs against the wall, and dude catches it in his forks. I'm like,
yeah, it's like it's crazy stuff. Like it's like, how and why? What made you do that? What made you think that's like possible? Like, that's crazy. One with Frank, he does some dope stuff in traffic. I like watching him. It's my young bull.
Are you hitting up rideouts a lot? I mean, I know you go to rideouts, but like lately, because of COVID and everything, like it seems like the structure has changed. I'm seeing a lot of rideouts actually grow. Like more people are like sheltering in place and they need an outlet to get outside. A lot of people are getting new bikes, and a lot of people selling out. Like there's not even a bike in any bike shop in the USA. It seems like they're all private sales. Do you think, like, I mean, my first question is, have you been like just as active in the ride out scene or in riding out in public, or have you been holding back? And then,
I was just talking about this. I have been going to ride outs, but I don't usually do my, yo, what's up? What up, bro? How you been? What up? Yo, what's going on? Yo, what up? Before and after the rides. So I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, like, I don't think we should touch hands. I don't think we should talk like this, like we used to. But yeah, I still go to rides. I ride. I don't wear a mask when I ride. When I stop, I try to put my mask on or hold it to my face while I'm stopping at like stops, gas stations like that. So it's a little different. But yeah, it was brought to my attention like I probably shouldn't keep going to all these rides with all these people, because like, yeah, like the county, whatever, social media, police are saying no big gatherings, but at the same time, they say they encourage you to go ride a bike, go be active, and go outside. But like when go ride a bike and be active, meet with big crowds, it's like kind of like it's kind of weird. No,
it does. Well, I mean, there's talk about current events, dude. I mean, up in Modesto, you've got the police department coming down hard on that crew of riders. What advice? And I'm going to put you in an awkward spot. What advice would you give people that are in a scene where, you know, the police are cracking down on bike life? Like, what do you say? Like, hey, you know what? Just walk away. Do you say make it work? What advice would you give those kids?
I mean, in the position where the cops are trying to lock it down, try to like put it down, I say, man, like, regardless how it goes, a cop is gonna do what the cop wants to do. Most likely they were given orders to do whatever. Yep. So they trying to do their job. Even if like, I say just don't be in the mix. Like you see a crowd over there getting crazy with the cops, like you don't want to be in that mix. Try to encourage your homies not to be in a mix with you, because then that makes a different crowd, not, you know, where they shouldn't be. Me, honestly, that's what I do. Like I try to, like, the adults can talk to the police, try to calm them down. Hopefully they're doing that, rather than some kids doing whatever they gonna do. Have the older people talk to them, and then if you do get heated, just ride away. Don't ride home, but like just, you don't want to be the person in cops' face screaming F12, F12, like get out of here. We trying to ride, but like you can just do that over there, or just stay away from all the action. I'll say that.
Yeah, we had the organizer of the Santa Cruz Ride Out on our show. His name is Tom Loughran. And we were talking to him about the same thing. You know, he's like, as the crowd of riders in a ride out grows, right? Whether it even be 30 or 3,000, there's always going to be, you know, first and foremost, you can't control everybody. And second, it's like, there are going to be some, even though you stand up before the ride and say, look, here's how we're going to play the game today. Here's the rules of the road, you know, tell everybody, you know, stay to the right, you know, do this, do to that, don't swerve, don't ride on the other side of traffic and all that. There will always be the group that does, right? And you can't control it. You can't be everywhere at once. Even if your ride is set up with safety, even if it's set up with, you know, adults who can keep others in line, or at least be able to monitor things, is like, there's always going to be a faction that doesn't. So like Isaac mentioned with Modesto, it just seemed like a breakdown. And
that same situation happened. I don't know if y'all seen, but the same thing happened to one of my events last July.
I saw it. Oh yeah, yep. I saw it.
Yep.
So about that, it's like the same thing that happened, and then while it was happening, it's a lot going on. A lot of kids I gotta, you know, look out for. Cause I am looking out for them. I'm not their mom or dad, but I still want to look out for them. A lot of cops I gotta, you know, watch what's going on and mind my business, like distance wise. I don't want to be in their face. So that kind of happened. The way it started, for the people that haven't seen, the way it started, I started off my ride out at a bike shop. The first time we had an interaction with the cops was, a cop was called because a kid was riding his bike while using his phone. That's how the first cop got called. That was at the meetup spot. And it's my ride. I'm big on being front line when it's time. You know, I wouldn't want someone else to handle, you know, my ride when it comes down to it like that. So when the first cop put up, I talked to him. He told me what's happening. I told him what's happening. He was like, all right, I'll make sure like you won't get a call like that again. Took off. Probably like 20 minutes of the ride, another cop pulled up. I wasn't there at the time, so we had rode up a hill to Balm the hill. Some stayed down. It was a crazy hill. We got to the top. A firefighter gave us like a bunch of waters and Gatorade. That was dope. And at the bottom of the hill, the cop was just talking to the crowd like, yeah, we got like complaints about a bunch of riders in the street. But he was cool though. He was cool. Telling like everyone just stay to the right. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to y'all drivers. I don't want to get a call like this again. But just stay to the right. Do y'all part, we'll do our part. That was cool. So I wasn't there at the time because I was on top of the hill. Rode down, met with the group again, rode to the mall. We got a police escort to the mall. Rode through the mall. Apparently a kid swerved the car, got hit the car. And it turns out to be the car that apparently got hit was an undercover cop. Pulled around and followed the group, us, maybe like 15 minutes back towards home. And then those sirens were on, no announcements were made, no one told us to pull over, no one was said like, yo, get off the bike, no one. So we weren't running from nobody. After that happened, we had stopped to get beverages at a gas station. And the video y'all seen is at the same gas station. We didn't stop because we were told to. We stopped because we were thirsty. It was time to stop. We stopped. The same car that apparently got hit. The cop jumped out. I kind of like, yo, what's going on? Like, I'm the leader. Like, what's going on? And I seen in his face, like, I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for the kid to hit my car. I'm like, oh man. I turned around. I started looking like back what he's doing. He was just scanning the whole group. Locked eyes with the kid. Started chasing after the kid. Kid started running. Got his bike, tried to jump over a wall, got stopped. And that's where the video starts that I posted. And that kid was just doing the most. He was doing the most. I was trying to tell the kid, like, calm down, bro. Like, relax. Like, let me try to defuse this. I don't like where it's going. Don't like where it's going. I seen it go wrong on Instagram. I don't want that happening in front of my face and in front of the riders in my city. So I told the kid, like, calm down, relax. And then he relaxed. I tried to take his AirPods out because he probably got music blasting to the max. He don't know what's going on. He don't hear anyone. He probably hears some scream, but he don't hear any directions. So I try to help him, like, take the earphones out of his ear. And I pushed by cop. That's whatever. Okay, like, all right, do your job. I'll let you do your job. I was trying to help you, but all right. So the cop did this thing with the kid. I walked to the street and started, like, recording just everything that's happening. Wasn't anyone's face, wasn't asking for no badge number, none like that, screaming, none of that. Another cop pulled up. He grabbed me. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, bro? Let go of me. I get where, like, these cops is coming from, because yeah, you had to, like, kind of beat this kid down and, like, grab him. But me, I'm not gonna put up a fight with you. You know I'm the leader. You know I was trying to be frontline with every cop all day. And then, like, why are you grabbing me, bro? And then after you grabbed me, I still didn't, like, pull away from him. I'm like, yo, don't let go of me, bro. Like, I'm here to talk to you. I'm like, what are you doing? He said, you're not being arrested. You're being detained. I'm like, okay, like, you can let go of me, though. I'm here to talk to you, bro. He was like, let's talk over here. I was like, all right, yes, sir. It's, like, super, super clear in the video, like, everything that was happening.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Every voice. I even put subtitles, like, what's happening, so no one gets it twisted. You can't read, then
it's so crazy because, like, I'm seeing, I mean, it like, Isaac, and you saw it too, and we're hearing this stuff, like, so it's like, this is not the first time with, you know, that there's things that are going on in Modesto, then there's Vacaville, then there's a little bit in Stockton, you know. I'm not saying there was a lot, but it's just like, the crowds are growing, the gatherings of bike life riders are growing. If there's an issue with 200 riders blocking, you know, an intersection because they're riding through a light and people have to wait, 6 months later, those 300 people are now 800 people. And so, you know, the community and the police department and the riders, you know, it's just like everything's, the tensions are growing, the escalations are getting greater, and the police are getting less, like, tolerant, if that's the word, Isaac. I mean, is that
yeah, I mean, dude, they're getting, the police are getting calls, and they're like, oh man, it's the bikes again. You know what I mean? Like that's frustrating for them. There's no cop is going on duty going, do you want what sounds fun? Chasing bikes. Not a single cop has that feeling. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're gonna get calls. And here's the basics of like, if you really think about law enforcement, here's the basics. People call if it's an emergency, like I need your help because someone's trying to kill me or something to that matter. So they're getting a bunch of calls about some kids on bikes, and we're all going to sit back and go, I'm just trying to ride my bike. But like, when I say that, it also comes with an asterisk that, and there could be a kid that's like 10 bikes behind me, this swerving a car. Right. And so they're going to call the cops. Cops are going to come because, you know, someone knows the mayor, right? They have to stop the information, like the community from going nuts and going into the mayor and all that stuff, right?
Nice.
You know what I mean, though, dude. Like the more it's going to show up on someone's Facebook page. Yeah, like there's nothing. You guys, old people have nothing to do right now. Like we're sitting around on Facebook, ready to be angry about something. And if you give me bikes, dude, I watched people argue on HOA sites 2 days ago about who puts their garbage out the correct way in the right order. Like that's the level of arguments that like Karens are at right now, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy times, dude. Like people have been bottled up in their house for nearly a year now. Tensions are high. Like people are going like out of their minds. And so like when in Modesto, Deezy, there was like a report, there was something like 63 calls for service to 911. It's like the police department's got their hands tied too. Like we have to like respond, you know?
Right.
But then again, the bike life scene in Modesto are like, we're just out trying to ride our bikes. We're trying to get out of our house. We're trying to be a community as well. We're trying to keep an organized ride where there's like 300 or 400 people, like I said earlier, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So it's like everybody's got their like point of contention. The police, the community, and bike life all have some type of point of contention.
That's where like crazy situations help you learn and find the answers to that right there. Because after that little event happened, the cops that had to do with that incident, there was like their attitude and perspective changed after they interrogated me and asked me what's happening. Because from their perspective, and it's all about perspective, like the Karens and everything that's happening, the cops, people that call in, it's all about perspective. So the cops at the time when this was happening, and they had, from their perspective, this is around the time there was riots and protests. Their head like, oh, kids doing reckless stuff next to cars in our city, got all these calls. Let's go put a stop to it. And let's do it the way we know how to do it. But at the same time, when this kid was doing what he was doing, getting arrested, and I was in jail for 7 hours after the whole thing. And that time, I was thinking like, man, how could I make this different? How could I make it different? How could I make it better next time? And then where I could make it better was tell all the kids to calm down, relax, stop jumping in their face, stop making them feel endangered. Just give them some room. If we calm down, they'll calm down. They don't get defensive. They won't come grab me like we animals. Cause they jumping around, yelling, cussing, all that. So I'm pretty. I know for a fact I could have put a stop to what happened to me. I could have changed their perspective instantly instead of having them arrest the kid, arrest me, and then waiting an hour after for them to talk to me. And the same thing with, I know Tom for a fact has it locked down in Santa Cruz, because the last ride I went to, I don't think we had any issue with cops. I'm pretty sure him or his entity talked to the cops and let them know what's happening.
Yeah, he does like every year he like after the ride out, from what I remember him saying, right, Isaac, he'll go into the chief of police office in Santa Cruz and be like, well, how'd that go? You know, like they'll have a conversation, but they also have a pre-ride conversation as well. Like, hey guys, this is coming up. Here's what we're expecting. Here's the numbers we had from last year. Here's this year. What can we do to build better community relations? What can we do to build better relations with the police? You know, he's having that conversation before and
There's
after.
a dialogue.
Yeah, there's definitely a dialogue. So that's kind of like what you were saying, Deezy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it starts with like relationships. Like, not every city is gonna have the same issue with bikes. Not everyone on bikes is gonna have the same issue. But if you have the ability to kind of prevent that, you can. I'm pretty sure roadies, mountain bikers aren't having the same issues we're having.
Nope.
So I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it, and it's possible to change their perspective. You know, they weren't born like that. People weren't born hating bikers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and you know, here a couple things. Like, lockdown is going to be over sooner than later. People are going to be able to go out and actually breathe and enjoy life again. And so I think the you know, you got a bunch of people that are locked up. You got a bunch of people that are hyped up on riots because they've watched the news media and they've consumed all of it. And from whatever political slant that they have, they've probably been watching news articles that slant that way. And so basically it's just a lot of people that are like, they see a group and they're like, storming the Capitol, or just like I saw on TV when they you know, rioted this. They don't understand what our intentions are, and that's okay. They'll figure it out. You know, they'll get close to it.
Yeah, Isaac, remember I went down to LA for the 4130 Subway Series ride. It got local news attention. We were on the like news that night, and it was like they were like, what is going on here? Is this a protest? Why are all these people on bikes? So like Isaac was saying, man, that's a great point, because most people are like, we're getting conditioned to think like any mass gathering has to be some type of riot activity or you know, protest, or the question of, is this one of those things?
Yeah.
You know, and so the public's misconception, like you said, it's all about perspective.
Yeah, dude. So I want to kind of take the interview in a bit of a left turn, because I'm dying to know about your bike, dude. I don't know anybody that has a Throne here in Phoenix. I've called, I've actually emailed Ike before to find out, like, dude, is there a Throne in Phoenix? And he's like, bro, I got one dealer and they don't have any goons. He's like, they got trek bikes, but they don't have any goons. So dude, tell me about like your bike and how you're specifically like your model. How much input did you have on that? It's good to see you back on a like a shorter, fatter bike. Because that's what I'm used to seeing. And I really think, like, dude, you're great on 29, but the poetry really hits, dude, on that 27.5, bro. Like, I gotta be honest with you.
I'm glad it does. So the bike, lost sight of the question.
Oh yeah. Tell me about, like, you know, how, like, we'll start at the beginning.
Oh,
tell me
input,
about
input.
Yeah, how much input you had.
So this bike came out September. I first seen it in March, was it the month before September?
Yeah. September's March. October, yeah.
August.
I first witnessed it. August is before September?
Yeah.
August.
Yep. Right before.
August. That's the first time I seen it with my eyes, the actual bike, the physical bike. So this bike was supposed to come out months, almost a year prior to when it did drop. But when the coronavirus hit, it messed up production with the current bikes. It messed up production on the new bikes. So with that screwed everything up. But at the same time, that just gave us more time to see what's popping, because one day 29 should be popping, next day 26 might be popping. That gave us more time to like decide what we want to do. It gave me more time to learn about the business side of, you know, a bike warehouse, a bike company. Because I would bring them colors, numbers, components that wouldn't work just because that's how business is. If I bring the rainbow bike and that bike would never sell, they're not gonna do it. I wouldn't want them to do it either. I wanna do what works for me, what I like, and then what works for business. I wanted a gloss black tire bike, but then I guess matte black sounds better. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. We got a gloss fork on it. That's dope. But yeah, like the bike was supposed to come out months ago. The first time everyone was supposed to see the bike was at the Santa Cruz ride. But the bike was an hour away in customs. We couldn't even touch them. So I feel like everything happened for a reason. At the same ride, that's when SC showed their new bikes as well. So that would have been kind of weird, in my opinion. So like I said, everything happened for a reason. And then the bike dropped September 27th. It was dope. It was crazy. It sold out super fast, super fast. I think under an hour. It was lit. I love seeing people on my bike. But the input I had, it was kind of rushed. And then again, of course, I didn't have everything I wanted because I didn't know too much about the business side. I didn't put into consideration putting top-notch brakes on the bike would be, you know, it's not just $100 brake system on the bike. It's 100 times how many bikes you make.
So right. So like, there's so many more like there's so many more layers to the onion, you know, like every time you want, like if you were to build your dream bike, like you were probably thinking in your mind, like, okay, I want this brake system. I want these tires. I want these handlebars. I want, and you fill in all the gaps, right? Like the costs are exponentially larger.
Congratulations. That's a $6,000 bike.
Yes.
Easy.
So that's a fast, you know, to the wolves introduction on the business of, you know, putting bikes together and stuff. So the first time that you actually got to see the bike was in August, right?
Yeah.
So you put this thing together, like, came up with all your compromises, like, you know, here's what I want, but here's what we were going to compromise on.
Yeah.
So the first time it rolled off the factory floor and into your hands, you hadn't even ridden a prototype at that point, right?
I did, but the prototype we had was a 27.5, 2.0 or 2.3. It wasn't a fat wheel officially. So I had tested the frame out. The frame was dope. Love the feel. I just loved how it felt. But then it didn't feel like a fat wheel bike because it wasn't. So when the bike came, it felt just like a 27.5, like it should. We do have stuff to improve on, of course, because people don't realize Throne has not been in the game as long as SC bikes. Not at all. They started with track bikes, fixed gears, light bikes, you know, stuff like that. So not into BMX. So when they did the BMX, number one, bolt set, the release is not going to be perfect, but we do improve every colorway, every model, every year. So then again, this is our first fat bike. So no, it didn't come perfect. We still have some geometry to mess with, components to add. So there's improvements coming for sure.
So it's a ride and not a slide, right?
Definitely a ride.
Yeah, dude. How hard is it when you see your bike and you're like, oh man, why'd you change the bars? You know what I mean? Like, what's that like?
I mean, I'm the same way. Like, if you look at my bike right now, you see KnightBike components on it. You'll see Bullseye. It's not necessarily I don't like how my bike rides, because I'll definitely ride my bike stock, no problem, because that's how I wanted my bike. I wanted my bike to be kind of what I ride. So once you get my bike, you're behind my bars. You ride what you feel what I feel, basically, when you buy my bike. So when I get parts, mostly or all the time is from my my sponsors, the brands who support me, but that's always been my thing, changing parts of my bike. Even when I don't need it, I'll just give it away because it's
I relate to that so much. I relate to that so much.
Right.
You know, one of the things, Deezy, like I think it was around 2017 or 18, was one of my first ride outs. It was Santa Cruz. And one of the things I noticed right away, because I really wasn't like involved in the ride out scene because I was brand new to it, but like I was noticing like this team that was there, this crew, they had on like a jersey, like a tank top jersey, mimicking like an LA Dodger uniform, but it said Goon on it, right? and on the back was names, and it was like you, Jacob Santos, Block Boy, and I wish I could remember some other guys. Like, so that crew has been pretty tight for quite some time, and doing a lot of things like out in the community, doing merch giveaways, doing things like ride outs, and doing like demos and stuff. Like, was there anything that was planned for 2020 with the Goon Squad that didn't get to happen that you guys are now pushing into 2021, or is there just like a whole new schedule for you guys coming up this year?
For sure. Like, something we did stop in 2020 was the Goon Tours. So when you seen us in Santa Cruz, that wasn't a Goon Tour necessarily. We just popped up, but that's why we got the jerseys for Goon Tours. Goon Tours is we do a tour, we drive or fly to a different city, state every month and just ride with the locals. We did one in Sacramento, a lot in SoCal, one in Florida, Vegas a couple times. We didn't get to do that at all. Everyone on my team, including me, was really pushing to do it and want to do it anyway. But then again, on the business side of things, I don't want to get a phone call, oh, my kid has coronavirus and he was at your ride out.
Right.
So that's also where it taught me like, oh, damn, that is a possibility. It is like a high risk for anyone who's there and for me as well. So just knowing like, what if we did do the tours, what if we didn't stop, how bad could I have been sick? Could Fame been sick? My boy Breezy, anybody. So like I said, everything happened for a reason. I'm glad we didn't, because that would have been a bad look if we just didn't stop what we're doing and took a break. And we did take a break. We don't do them, but we do have some stuff coming soon. One in Arizona, near. How far are you from Tempe?
Dude, Tempe. I have an office in Tempe. I'm literally 10 minutes from Tempe.
So nothing is official right now.
Go on.
There's no necessarily flyer for it, but we should be coming there. Me and my team right now. My guy Fame, Don Lopez, Block Boy Fame, Don Lopez, C Breezy, CJ Chikara, same thing. And I are trying to do like a little tour type thing where we ride different cities. Not necessarily tied into the Goon Tour, but just our own thing. But
is there a shop? Is it associated with a shop?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you let me know. You let me know, dude. I'll make sure that everyone gets taken care of, and we go to good, like, we'll go get something good to eat. Yeah, I'll show you all the good spots.
Sounds good. But yeah, right now it's just kind of calm right now. Don't want to jump the gun with anything right now.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a new year doesn't mean anything is necessarily changing. I was just, I was stoked last year to see you guys, so active out in the community. And then, obviously the coronavirus hit and things just, the whole world changed, everybody's life changed. And, I'm foreseeing, like Isaac said, things will, resume soon. Right. I just wanted to make sure we're going to be able to see you guys. Like, I want to see if there was a tour. Are you guys going to do something different? And it sounds like, the team is still locked in and there will be stuff coming up. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Pushing out different content and then doing different stuff. I love traveling. So does my team. So I love interacting with my supporters. So traveling is just really, I enjoy it for sure. Meeting new people, riding different places. So I look forward to traveling more this year, but doing it safely.
Let me ask you this, dude. For somebody that is a big fan of the Goon, the 29er, and they're also a Deezy fan, and they're like, man, should I go for the XL? Should I not go for the XL? Give me some pros and cons, man. If somebody's looking to make get a new bike purchased, what would you say is the difference? If I'm used to a 29, because for me, the 27.5 is home. It feels like a BMX bike I grew up with, so much more agile and easy to move around on.
Right.
Flatland and freestyle tricks are way more fun. But I don't know if that's just me, dude. And then I see you riding one, and I was just like, all right, man, let's go. So what would you say are the differences for you at your skill level?
So what I would say to a kid that asked me like, yo, which one should I get? I would literally say you have to ride both of them and see what you like. Just because this is my signature bike, my face on it. I get something if you buy it, but if you don't like how this feels and you rather ride 29er, ride the 29er. I don't want you to ride my bike. I want you to ride what you like. But to be like some bullet points, like if you were to ride me hopping off a 29er to a fat wheel 27.5, it's a little more, I would say it's like a, not more slow, but more cruising, like more cruising. It has fatter wheels, it covers more of the ground, less aerodynamic than the 29ers, because it's like really skinny. So something like that. If you like going fast, don't buy a fat wheel. Goes over bumps like nothing. I would just say just ride it. It's hard to explain because some might not like how it pedals, some might not like how it pulls up, some might not like how it rides in certain terrains, because all bikes do come with different tires. So like I would say ride a 27.5. But if you ride in the dirt a lot, or you ride in the rain a lot, it might come with some thick slicks or something like that. So for that little reason, you might not like the 27.5. So it's just like ride what you feel comfortable with, ride what you like.
Yeah, definitely. And Isaac, it has to, I mean, it definitely has to go with your, you know, your style of riding, what you, and really what you're doing on a bike. Like you and Isaac and I have been through like several bikes, man, and we own like maybe 5 bikes that are similar or the same model, and we both have different feedback on it. Like Isaac's favorite bike is the PK Ripper 27.5. I like that bike as well, but I also have, and he has it, but I got a SE Fat Quad with 3.5 tires on it. 3.5, dude. It was like, you know, super fat tires, and I like that bike for something totally different than I like the PK Ripper for. So it's like, you know, you nailed it. Go out there and ride both of them, you know, and you know, a lot of people can't just go out and buy, you know, every style or type of bike. But if you're on a ride out and you see a bike you like and you want to try it, you know, make friends and ask if you can ride their bike.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know it wasn't not the answer you expected, but like, it's just like, it's hard to tell you what you would like. Only you would know. Like you said, like you ride the same model bike, but we both have the different feelings, like how it feels.
Dude, I want to try one out, dude. I'm interested in trying one out. I want to see what it's like, because I love 27.5s. Okay, dude, I'm gonna have my final question for you. But it's a 2-part. Okay. So first, tell me give a shout out to your sponsors. Tell me who's supporting you right now. And I have a follow-up question about JT Racing.
My biggest sponsor right now is my mom, for sure, Diana Wynn.
Yeah.
Since my my career has grown, she's been a big part in supporting what I do. I'm under her roof. You know, back then it would be like, yo, mom, could I go ride? And she'll be the one letting me go ride. If it weren't for her, or if she wanted to say no and said no, I couldn't go ride. I couldn't make my content. I couldn't get better. Couldn't prosper. She was the reason why I first got my big bike. She gifted me with my my first big bike when I was riding 20-inch no brakes, hand me down from my uncle. My first sponsor, her biggest sponsor. My other sponsors: OldBones BMX, Jimmy's Bikes, Throne Cycles, JTRacingusa, MP Bag, ULOC. Shout out to all them for sure.
I love it. Now, here's my follow-up question about JT Racing. Bro, those new pants, the new leathers that are coming out. I see you all over the ads, bro. You got to tell me how are they legit? What am I going to look forward to?
Unfortunately, they're new to our eyes, but those are vintage pants. I tried my hardest to keep them after the shoot, but they wasn't having it.
No, you're talking to me and Isaac, 2 old school dudes. We seen those pants when they came out in the 80s. And when you were debuting them with JT Racing on their Instagram or wherever it was showing up, Isaac and I literally had to call JT, like, when are those coming in? You know, like they were
Yo, Lewin. Yeah.
Yeah, we called Lewin right away. Like, you know, we need to have those, right? Like 2 OGs from the 80s.
And so, for sure. Yeah, I love them. Like the cow print with the padding on it. It was just like, I've never had on a racing outfit, a racing suit. I don't know how it feels, but those pants is like riding pants. I wonder, I know why y'all wear them now, or y'all used to wear them now, but those are fire for sure.
Yep. All right. Hey, thanks for being here tonight. I'm going to have Craig ask his final stuff, but if I don't get in, dude, thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for,
I appreciate it for sure.
Everything that you do to grow bike life and show people an alternative way to do it that shows, hey, you can be positive and you can still follow your dreams and you can still influence people. I appreciate that. I love that just watching you prosper over the last year, watching you go from, hey, I'm on this team to I'm leading this team. I have my own model. I have multiple hustles. Dude, a grown person would have a hard time keeping up with everything that you do. And you do it so well at so young. So, dude, congratulations on your success. Earned, not handed down. Like, you've earned every accolade that you get.
Thank you, bro.
I hope you take a moment to appreciate it. Yeah. I think I texted you that the night of your the bike unveiling, and I was like, dude, congratulations. Make sure you take a moment to take it all in. You're going to want to remember it when you're my age.
Yes,
and
sir.
Dude, congratulations, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Craig.
Yo, man, I got to say, Deezy, bro, one of the things I like most about hearing you tonight was just the fact that, you being a role model, you being aware of that and not denying it, and knowing that you're influencing a lot of people out there, and being self-aware of how you're handling yourself. The fact that leaders are not necessarily told they're leaders. They show it. They lead by example. And one of the things that moved me tonight was how you sat there after an incident where you had to rethink, like, what could I have done? Like, most people would have sat there, in my opinion, and I know I would, first extremely angry, pissed off and all that, but you were like, reflecting on yourself, bro. That just shows, like, when I heard this week that when I was having a conversation, I told someone that you were coming on the show, they were like, that dude he's a role model. He's a leader. I knew you were, but just hearing it come from you tonight, bro, I know that you're not just talking about it, you're showing it. And so that, to me, you're an influence to me, brother. And I'm 48 years old. Bro. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for being here tonight on Big Bike BMX, man. I just really appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you both for having me. It was dope. I'm glad I got to say what I had to say. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm with you, Craig. I heard, here's my takeaways. Be humble.
Always.
Be yourself. Be authentic. Hustle. Look for ways to be different and stand out from the crowd. And always be like, look for the positive side of everything that you go through. And that'll get you somewhere pointed in the trajectory that Deezy's on. So congratulations again. Exactly. Appreciate you being here. Craig, why don't you send us out, bro?
You got it, man. Hey, thank you, Deezy. A special shout out to our special guest tonight, Deezy, from Throne Cycles, doing his thing out there in bike life and in life in general. Big Bike BMX wants to thank everybody for showing up here. We want to thank you guys for showing up to the show and to the live chat. If you are streaming as well and you want to listen to us outside of the house, check us out on all your favorite platforms like Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. Thanks again for showing up. We want to give a special shout out to our show's sponsors. We have KnightBikeCo, we've got PhoenixBikeCompany, CrushedMX, JTRacingusa, Etnies Shoes. Isaac, who else did I miss?
RideOutSupply.
RideOutSupply. Man, I always leave one out, dude. Thank
RideOutSupply.
Same.
Yep. RideOutSupply and OldBones Therapy. Shout out to our newest sponsor, OldBones Therapy.
OldBones Therapy.
So you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being in the live chat tonight. We love you for being there, and we love you for hanging out and chatting. Hopefully, Deezy, you're welcome to come out to the live chat when we air this. We'll definitely promote it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You're welcome to come and hang out. We've seen you there before, so happy to do that. Best of luck in 2021. Continue to do big things. I'm about to go make I'm gonna send a DM, dude. I want some new pads. Now I've been thinking about the whole show. So anyway, y'all take care.
So it's kind of easier.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we brought this up. Shout out how to find you, man. How do I get there?
For batteries, the mercury, decalories, Deezys.com. That's DEEZYS.com. You can see all that there, find it there. Yes, sir.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna do this super fast.
I got one last thing. It's actually a request.
Go ahead.
Deezy, can we get a yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No cavalry.
There we go. Shoppery right here.
That's a shoppery.
All this right here. I'm going to be spending a little bit of time here tonight and a little bit of time here. So you guys head over to Deezy, Deezys.com, DEEZYS.com, and grab some merch, grab some pads, get a little piece of this man's entrepreneur spirit and support what he's doing. You love him, Deezy. All right, Craig, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks to your wife. Appreciate it, man.
Same, brother.
We'll talk soon. Ba, ba, da, ba.